So September 4th, 2018, Dan had a seizure while he was driving. He had just turned in, was in the right-hand lane, and went through 3 lanes of traffic. Almost hit a telephone pole, went down through a ditch, vaulted up through the ditch, through another line of traffic, and slammed just head-on into a tree. And ultimately was still coherent, but it had a massive grand mal seizure, and that's what caused the initial accident. When I first got the call about the accident, I had just left the studio I was working at. The accident involved Dan and the kids. We had plans to pick up Ronan, his son, and take him to the park, and that all changed in a flash. Getting the call, you can't get there fast enough, and no one is moving fast enough for you to get there. And you're hoping that everything's gonna be okay. When I first arrived, they had already taken Ava and used the jaws of life to get her out. And Andrew had come out the back window. And I just remember I didn't hear anything. No matter what anybody said to me, it was like I was tunnel focused into those 3. We had not picked up Ronan yet, so it was just Ava and Andrew, and they let me right up to the front of the Raptor because they could not extract him from the vehicle. Both of my kids were across the street from Parkland at Children's, and so I was able to go back and forth, and it was touch and go we didn't think it was going to make it at all. And then in the morning, it looked like, okay, he's kind of gone over this hump. It was pretty traumatic to just see what Dan looked like afterwards, to know that he had loss of 2 limbs, and he had put on like 40 pounds overnight in saline. So Dan decided it'd probably be the best idea to videotape and not let Ronan have to see that. We sent videos. I remember holding up a poster board with the words on it. All you had to do was read the words, videotape it, but Ronan and Dan are inseparable. They're 2 peas in a pod. And it was tough to tell Ronan that your dad's been in an accident. It's been pretty bad, and he's lost his legs. But Ronan knew Dan's got tough grit. He's gonna make it through. And he did, and he's in the other room playing video games with him. So it's good. The most challenging aspect of coming home was coming home. We spent 3 months in Parkland. When we came home, Dan had been living with a friend of his, and I was in a 2-bedroom apartment. And so coming home was challenging enough. Finding a place, 3-bedroom for all of us, and then coming home to things that you think are adapted, but they're not. The daily struggles of just moving from one chair to the other. So at this point in the game for us, there will always be a challenge. First, for Dan, seizures are the nemesis that we cannot overcome. He's had multiple surgeries on the limbs just to try to get a sense of normalcy, but driving has been the hardest obstacle and the hardest thing that are still trying to overcome and don't know if we will. The nice thing about it is you can somewhat see the light a little bit now. Stepping through the fog and seeing the other side a little bit. It's organizations like Spirit of a Hero that really changed the game for so many veterans. You get so tired of fighting through hoops and swimming upstream, and you can't imagine what it's like to have someone come in and say, we got you, we got this. We got your bathroom. We'll take care of it for you. It just makes one aspect of life so much easier. But it's huge because it's something that you don't have to fight through alone.